Welcome back to North of the Broad. I'm your host, Karen Wyman, coming to you from Beaufort in the beautiful Low Country Produce this afternoon. I'm joined by Ray McBride, Director of the Beaufort County Library Systems. Welcome to the show, Ray.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you talk about your relatively short but hopefully long tenure at Beaufort County Library Systems, where you're the new director.
That's correct. It's been very interesting first 6 months.
Excellent.
With the library system.
So as a director of the library systems, what are your duties and responsibilities? I'm sure they're broad.
Oh yes, well I actually manage the 5 branches in Beaufort County. Of course, our library system is managed by a library board of trustees, each member appointed by a member of county council. And then they hire the library director who actually manages the day-to-day operations, the budgets, and the staffing of the library system.
Right, and we've had, like before we started this interview, we've mentioned that we had the pleasure of having each one of your branch managers here in Northern Beaufort County join us on the show and share some of the activities and programs that you all have at the library, and it's always amazing to see how much you do.
Yes, and we're always trying to get the word out about those services and about the things that we have going on. This is an amazing community. We have a fantastic staff in the 5 branches, and there's always something going on between programming, between all of the materials that we circulate. I mean, we have almost 500,000 visitors a year between the 5 libraries. We circulated in the past 12 months over 800,000 items to the public. And they were always looking for new ways to add services to the community.
Right. So pretty impressive, right? I mean, you would say, since being here for a short time, to see all the activity that goes on.
Oh yes, and that doesn't even account for all of the programming, the children's programming, the adult programming that goes on. A lot of times people don't really understand all that we have to offer at the library system. So we're constantly trying to educate the public, the county, anyone that we can to those services. Because with a free library card, you have access to all of these.
Absolutely. So, there may be viewers out there who are unaware that there are 5 separate locations in Beaufort County. So give us a rundown of where those 5 separate locations are.
We have 3 locations north of the Broad: Lebico, which is our smallest branch, Beaufort, right here downtown.
Literally right out the window here.
right next door. And then, of course, our newest branch is the St. Helena branch, which just actually won 8 design awards.
I'm not surprised by that. It's a beautiful place to be, and really ingraining the Gullah heritage in the design of that building. It's lovely.
That's correct, and it is an amazing facility. And then, of course, we have the Bluffton and then the Hilton Head branches.
Right, so 5 different opportunities if you're here as a resident of Beaufort County, if you're here visiting and looking for something to do on a rainy day, library is always an option for you, right?
That's correct, and each of those has a distinct community surrounding it, and they're all very well used.
So what are the goals and the objectives rather, as you move the library system into the future?
Well, initially when I got here, of course, it was to stabilize the hours and to hire additional staff so that we could manage our operations effectively and efficiently. And we've accomplished that in the first 6 months.
Excellent.
We have an extremely supportive library board of trustees. The county administration has been amazing in supporting us as we begin to move forward. And then we've had the opportunity to actually add some new services during that time. We've upgraded all of the Wi-Fi at all 5 branches so that the public has free Wi-Fi access.
Important in this day and age for those people who still may not be able to afford that service or even have a home computer.
That's correct. We've also added some new services, which I'm happy to talk about. One of those, of course, is Hoopla.
What's Hoopla?
Hoopla is...
I don't know what Hoopla is.
I call it Netflix on steroids. So, we've all traditionally, we circulate books and DVDs and other library materials. Well, nowadays, of course, there's electronic books.
Of course,
e-books,
I know. Yeah.
And there's, and so our goal is to balance that. So we have the traditional library services where you come in and you check out materials. And then we have now Hoopla, which is really a neat online service. So with your library card, a valid library card, can't owe any fines or fees. So with your library card, then you download the app. and then you put in your library card number, and you immediately start checking out and downloading to your iPad or your phone free movies, over 100,000 movies, 19,000 audio books, DC comic books for the first time, graphic novels.
My
old
12-year-old will
TV
be really excited
shows.
about that. He's a huge DC Comics fan.
And full music CDs.
Wow.
So
Pretty
it's
impressive, and a large catalog of opportunities.
right. 2 weeks ago, we had about 1,200 electronic books that we offered. Now we have 320,000.
In that short amount of time.
In that short amount of time, just by moving to Hoopla.
Right. The library is the place to be then.
The library's the place to be, both online and in the physical building.
Right, and I think you mentioned and mentioned the word balance, and I think that as a parent or people who are out there struggling with trying to balance that electronic media versus actual print media and their children and controlling that, something to always be mindful of.
Yes.
Definitely.
And we have to be mindful that not everybody has access to a computer.
Not everybody has access. That's right. And so obviously our viewers are, are always interested to know how if there's opportunities to support organizations here that give back to the community in such a way. So are there opportunities through your office in order to support the library?
Certainly, we have an amazing Friends of the Library group. Actually, we have 3 of them. One that covers the north of the Broad, and then Hilton Head and Bluffton branches have their own Friends of the Library. So for a very small fee, $10 or $15, you can join the Friends of the Library and then get free access to a lot of their programs, book sales, and then an opportunity to volunteer or donate your time at some of those book sales. And last year they gave over $100,000 to the library system to cover programming and additional library materials that the county budget did not cover. So there's, I highly encourage people to support the Friends of the Library group, because it adds additional services and programs to our system.
Right, to our community, way of giving back without a doubt. A very small nominal amount of money can allow you to be somewhat altruistic and give back to the community here and allow some services for those who may not be able to appreciate them. It was so nice to meet you, Ray. We appreciate you coming on our show and being a guest on North of the Broad.
Well, happy to be here anytime.
Yeah, and we very fortunate to have such a wide-ranging and supportive library system here in Beaufort County. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
That wraps up this edition of North of the Broad. Hope to see you next time.